shepherd's pie recipe, number 13, RLR 1341. We've done this before, but we have changed our beef, so we're using a different beef. This is the ground beef, and I did pull this a couple days ago, so as you can see, it's nice and thawed out. This is a 10-pound bag. The recipe calls for a 5-pound bag, so that way we'll get 24 servings out of one pan. So I'm going to go ahead and measure out. I put my pan on my scale. I put it on here, I hit the tare feature, so now my weight is 0. So I'm gonna pour the beef in until it gets to 5 pounds. And if I was doing 2 or 3 pans for my service, I would just have another pan here and then just dump this other bag right into it because I've already got my measurement. So this one is 5 pounds and this one is 5 pounds. But since I don't have to make any more, I'm just gonna put this in the fridge. Okay, so I've got my 5 pounds of beef here. And to that, we're going to add our spices. Tablespoon of pepper. Tablespoon of salt. And these are level tablespoons. Tablespoon of garlic powder, and you can also use the lid to scrape it to make it level. And a tablespoon of onion powder. Okay. I'm just going to stir that up. And again, big tip, thaw your meat beforehand. Okay, so I've got my spices evenly distributed. So now I'm going to do my peas and carrots, 2 cups of each. This does not count as a vegetable or anything. This is just for color. Kind of stir that around. And I did not thaw these out, these are still frozen. Stir that around. And this is going to go into the oven with a lid on it. This is going to be at 325 degrees for about 30 minutes, and then we're going to temp it to see if we get to 155. Then we'll move to the next stage, which is putting mashed potatoes on top. A little bit to my mashed potatoes are totally thawed out, and I think that's going to be a lot easier for me to put it on top of this pan totally thawed out than hot. So I'm going to cut a corner of this off. You see that? Then I'm going to pretend it's an icing bag, and I'm going to squeeze the potatoes on just like this. We're going to use 1.5 bags of potatoes, and my hands are not getting burned, so I really like this method a little bit better actually. And I'm doing an even layer, as you can see, just an even layer. Whoops. Okay. I'm going to use half of this bag. So if I was going to do 2 pans total for my service, which would be 50 servings, I would pull 3 bags of mashed potatoes, have them totally thawed out, And then when I got to this step, I would do a bag and a half of potatoes on each pan. Okay. And I'll save that for my other pan. Then I'm just going to take a spatula and just kind of smooth it out. Yeah, this is much simpler than having that hot. Now this is going to be 24 servings, so I'm going to go ahead and make score marks on top of my mashed potatoes. So when it comes out of the oven, I'll know where I'm at. So I'm going to do. So I've got 12 on each side. So this is going to be cut in thirds. So 3 by 4 for that half, and then I'm just going to follow the lines. Okay. Now this is going back in the oven uncovered for the mashed potatoes to heat up. All right, so we are plenty hot enough. And as you can see, the mashed potatoes puffed up and they look kind of a little bit crusty on the edges. I can still see my cut marks where I did. And if you want to, before you get started, you can do it again. So in half. And again, you can use a knife for this. So it's going to be 8 across. And 3 this way. So that'll give me 24 servings roughly. And it's going to be a 6-ounce scoop. So then using your marks, you kind of can just start to go in there, get some of the meat and the potatoes, and you're going to serve it in there. In the black tray. Some of my mashed potatoes got out. Okay. And that's our shepherd's pie.